Good morning, everybody. About a year ago, I think we presented the CA Web Publishing service of this Webmaster User Group, and at that time, we had just released the service to our legacy customers, and we're talking about onboarding new customers in the months ahead. That was back in 2016. In the last 8 months or so, we've onboarded a number of customers, and we have some more in queue, and I'd like to tell you about our success and how well the service is going. Before I get to that, I'll mention that there are CA Web Publishing team members here who will be giving some short demos on some of the features in the service. If you're looking for a new hosting environment for your department website, CA Web Publishing service is a pretty good candidate, as you know, or as you may recall. The service is based on open source technologies, Linux operating system, LAMP stack, and the WordPress content management system. How many of you are familiar with WordPress? Great. How many of you have used it before or are currently hosting some website on it? Great, great. We're absolutely thrilled with WordPress. When I spoke a year ago, WordPress had almost 24% market share. What that means is 24% of all the websites in the world are running on WordPress. That number has increased slightly. It's now 28%. So WordPress is in our opinion, the definitive content management system for deploying websites really of any size, from small blogs to enterprise web environments. It's a great development environment. And one of the other things I absolutely love about it is that for all the development that needs to go on to deliver functionality, there's a whole world out there of developers who essentially work for us. It doesn't cost us anything. They're building functionality in the form of plugins, and we can install those and gain that functionality. We're going to talk a little bit about some of the features that we deployed using WordPress's extensibility functionality via plugins. Okay, Michael. There we go. Thank you. Just to reiterate, our current framework is WordPress. We're running the very latest version of WordPress 4.8.2. 4.9 is scheduled for release in November, and we'll upgrade to that almost as soon as it comes out. We have a parent theme that we use called Divi by Elegant Themes, one of the leading vendors of WordPress themes and plugins. Divi has been a tremendous help to us. It enabled us to onboard very quickly and bring a lot of functionality into the service. So we're continuing with Divi. And then we built the state template as a child theme of Divi. And we've released, I think, 27 updates to our child theme. And as you can see from this slide, at the current version of Divi we're using is 76 versions from the original. They're now up to 83 versions. So the Divi product continues to be upgraded. They're doing some amazing things. Like I said, if you're looking for a web hosting environment, really check out WordPress and Divi, and then come talk to us, because we'd love to meet with you and talk to you about how we could onboard you into this service. Like I said earlier, we've onboarded a number of sites. 23 are live now, and we have 10 or 12 in the queue who are working with us to get onboarded into our service. We've added to the core features of WordPress about 20 features. I'll show you a slide, some of that functionality, but in no way are the features limited to just those 20 or so things. You can do amazing things with WordPress, and if there's something you're thinking about, that functionality you need or want for your website, and you don't see it listed here, that doesn't mean we can't provide it. It just means we haven't encountered it yet. And if you want to be one of our customers, we can provide it for you. That's the model that we've seen, and we've had great success with that. How do you get the service if you're interested? Does everybody here use Remedy in order to procure services from Department of Technology? Is that universal? that we do that? Well, you all have customer engagement representatives, and they can help you. They will use this Remedy system to help you get the service. Remedy looks like this screenshot here, and it's very easy. Click Software Services, click CA Web Publishing, and request now, and you fill out a short form, and you're in the onboarding queue. Let's see, and now we have a service website, and I think one of my presenters that I mentioned earlier from the team will be showing you a little bit more of some of the caweb.ca.gov website. Resources for customers, support, we have training videos, the entire onboarding process, if you want to know what the various steps are, it's all out there on caweb.ca.gov. These are the customers. I mean, we just want to let you know that we definitely have real customers, and these are the state websites that are currently on the CA Web Publishing service. These are the 10 or 12 that are in our queue right now. Just using those as references. And now here are the features that I talked about earlier, the 20 or so features. If you're not familiar with WordPress, and maybe some of these terms don't mean anything to you, but some of the highlights are Monarch, which is also an elegant themes product, and that is for social media sharing. And it enables you to link to your Twitter feed, your YouTube channel, et cetera, et cetera. We can embed code on your website through a code embed plugin. We have a really good forms plugin. You can do almost anything with the form, very sophisticated forms to very simple contact us kind of form. And in fact, today, one of our presenters on the CA Web team will be showing you how to create some forms with this tool, the WP Forms plugin. Mail Poet is a fantastic email tool if you want to do surveys or just sending out mass emails. If you have that need, that tool does that. We're implementing that for a newsletter. We can do redirection, so if you migrate to us and you want links from your old site to be moved to your new site without breaking the links, we've got this wonderful redirection tool. We even have a plugin that enables intranet functionality. The site is locked down. Nobody can even view the site unless their IP address is whitelisted in our system, or it could be enabled so that nobody can get to your intranet unless they log in to view it. So tremendous functionality. These are some of the things we're working on. We've been working on two-factor authentication for a while. It's actually turned out to be a little more challenging than we thought, even though you see it everywhere on the web. The leading vendor went out of business in the WordPress space. So we're looking at other solutions, but we really want to get that going. Active Directory integration, workflow approval, event calendaring. There's a tool within WordPress core called the Customizer, and it's a way of interacting with your data. Makes it very, very easy, just another way to do things. I mean, we have Divi, and Divi is very easy to use, and the Visual Builder in Divi makes editing in place possible, but the core product has something called the Customizer that we've not exploited yet, and we plan on doing that, so another feature that's coming up. So that pretty much concludes my part of the presentation. I want to introduce to you some members of the team, starting with Jim Burke, who's going to show you a demo on how to implement anchors using Divi. Danny will be up afterwards, and Danny is our lead developer, and he's going to talk about developer collaboration. We're very interested in working with the state community of developers on the state theme in WordPress. So what that means is PHP developers adding functionality. We've had requests to use our child theme outside of the CA Web Publishing service. Maybe you just have your own hosting, you want to go to WordPress, you want to do PHP, but you don't want to utilize our service. And that's okay. And we're working toward getting that child theme available. Danny can explain a little bit more about how that's possible, how you can get on board with that. One other thing I want to say about collaboration and developing in the WordPress space. I just lost my train of thought. Anyway, I'll come back to it. Yi will present on short codes and what those mean in WordPress and how they work. And then Miguel will show you the WP Forms demo, how to create some really sophisticated and then some rather simple forms, all with this one tool. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce to you our lead analyst on the CA Web Publishing team, Jim Burke. Jim, come on up. As you can see, Jim's going to be talking about anchors, and I'll be back later for some Q&A. Thank you.
Good morning. Can you guys hear me over the mic?
Good.
All right. As Kevin said, my name's Jim Burke, and I work for him on the CA Web Publishing team, and I'm going to give you a quick overview on anchors and then also show you some links on how you can get access to information on CA Web Publishing. So first off, setting up anchors is really handy if you have a page that has multiple sections, and if you have a really long page, has multiple headers, and you want your users to be able to jump to those sections. So the first thing, and to do that, it's really in Divi a two-step process. Obviously, you have to set the anchors, and then you have to be able to access the anchors from different locations. So the first step is setting up the anchors, and if you're going to, let's try and move that off. Can you do that? Setting up the anchors, first off, what you want to do is that take your page, if it may be one big block of text, you want to break it up into individual modules so that then you can reference those. And as you create those individual modules, in Divi, it makes it very easy by just setting the attribute, the CCS ID, which is under the Advanced tab of that module. If you're able to, as you go in and set that, then that's able to be used and called from your links that you want to jump to that section of the page. And so then to access those anchors, you go in and you create a link, and you just set the value of that link to be pound and whatever you've named that CCS ID, and I'll give you some examples of that in a second. But for each anchor that you're creating, it's a unique name, so it knows where to jump to in that page. And then there are some standard ones that you can use to skip to the top of the page, go to the bottom of the page, and anywhere else within that page, you typically do it by creating the module to jump to that module. So let me go ahead and I'll go into the page. I have one created already for you, and you can see here what we've done is broke it into the header section, where at the top of the page would be where you're going to put all your links in there to jump down into the lower sections below. So if we open this up, you can see here all of these are links, and this one jumps to the overview section. This one will jump to the information section, and so on. So as we go in there, and then what I like to do is I divide each section with a divider, and so typically we just duplicate those throughout the page. And in here, you can go in and set the different values in there, and then at the bottom of this section, you can even create a link within there to jump to a different section of the page, type of thing. So it's very handy to be able to link through there. So on this one, again, this is the header section, and then each individual section there. And let me go ahead and I'll do a preview of the page so you get some idea of it. So here you can see that this is the header section that we've created with all the links down into the lower sections. So like the notice, register, some of these are text blocks. This is a panel module, so you could jump to any different type of module. And so going back into here, where for overview text, to set it up, basically all I've gone in is, like I said, under the advanced, and I created it the name overview. This can be anything, right? It's just, it needs to be unique for that page, right? You can't have two sections that are overview. And so now that sets up the ability to jump to that location. And then you're actually able to also be able to jump to a page from another page. So you can jump into there from a, this is a real simple page with a text block. And all I did was go in there and set a URL. Oh, come on. So basically just very simple text. I set the URL. Now if you're going from one page to another, you have to include the URL of the page plus then the pound and the anchor name that you have set up. So it would jump into that section of the page. So it's very easy to do within Divi, but like I said, it is a two-step process, but pretty simplified process to be able to do that. So that's kind of how you do it. You know, it's like I say, it's pretty simple. We do have, so how do we get back to the PowerPoint? So we do have some information out there. We have videos. There actually is a video on how to do this, so you can just go watch that video. And it's got a little bit more detail than I went through here. Then also there are pages out there for videos and training. And then there is a training video that we just found recently. And so we're giving the URL to that as well. Let's see, so. Divi training, right. So I wanted to get back to here. So to get to these, basically you can go to the training page, training resource page. And you know, there are multiple different things. We are adding more and more. So this here is actually somebody has created how to use Divi, and there's a huge amount of information and videos on there. It's really valuable. Recommend checking that out. This link here is stuff that we've created from the CA Web Publishing team, and under that there is the links on how to do the anchors. And you know, so then I would just recommend going in there and utilizing these. And then the last piece that I wanted to go over real quick was the ability to sign up for notifications. So this is what Kevin was talking about, MailPoet. We're actually using that plugin to allow us to create a mailing list, right? So we have a default list out there now. Our recommendation is go out there. If you're on the service, get out there, sign up for this. You'll be notified if we're having issues, if we've done a release, and then you can go in and see what's in that release. It's just our way of trying to keep you guys informed. So recommend you going in there, sign up for that, and you know, then you, as we post news items out there, you'll be up to date. Okay. So any questions on the anchors or how to get information? Oh, all right. So next up. Oh, I'm sorry.
What's the URL to sign up for the mailing list?
The URL for the mailing list is actually, if you just go to caweb.ca.gov, go to the news tab, and then under there, the link is right in there, right there. Yes. I don't think we plan to go through that today. We do have that type of training on a lot of that out there, and in the ones that we have the YouTube link to, there is tons of stuff on how to do all that as well.
The question was, for those of you who are viewing online, could we go over Divi in kind of an overview? And Tim's responding, that's not really the point of this presentation, but there is a lot of, that's actually a very long answer.
Right.
Divi has a tremendous amount of functionality. But I will say this one thing about Divi that we have not implemented yet. We're still in process of integrating the state template functionality to work with the Divi Visual Builder. I know I promised this at the very beginning that we would one day have this, We're still working on it. We intend to have the Visual Builder implemented. And the Visual Builder is that one piece of Divi functionality that makes editing in place happen. So when you log into your website to edit it, instead of getting the back end interface that Jim was showing you there, you're actually on your home page, your sub pages, whatever page you want to edit, and then you activate the Visual Builder and you edit in place. So you want to change an image out, you just click on the image, up comes a panel, you can delete the image, replace the image, resize it, whatever. All happens right there in the visual view that essentially what the user sees. So you're previewing and editing all at the same time. That's coming. I can't give you a date, but our developer team has promised it. So we will be there at one time. I just want to say that. Sure. Another question?
I was going to say, but even right now, the back-end interface is very functional, very easy.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Yeah, so the comment was that the current version and the back end that we have is very flexible, very easy to drag and drop things. You can move them around. You can format them in, one column, 4 column type things. It's a very flexible tool, absolutely.
And to show you how the Divi team at Elegant Themes continues to add functionality, they just released an update that adds 600 more fonts to the Divi product and an interface so you can upload your own fonts. So for those of you who are very concerned about visual presentation and the look of your brand, you can have your own font that identifies your site and bring it into the system and just use it. If one of the 800 fonts already there isn't satisfactory. In other words, they're really keeping this product at the forefront of modern web presentation and modern web development. So can't say enough about Divi. We love it. But I remembered before we bring Danny up, I remember what it was I wanted to say about development, and Danny can play off of this if he wants to, or maybe he wants to avoid this topic. But we have had some requests for the state template to work with WordPress without the Divi theme. So a parent theme that is the state template. And we conceptualized how we would do that, and we think we can do it, but we would need direction from management if we want to go that route. Right now, if you want to use the state template with WordPress, you pretty much have 2 choices. 3. Sign up for our service, and you get everything. Get your own hosting, purchase Divi, and collaborate with us on the child theme. Or the third option would be just to build your own. So the option we're contemplating is, okay, you don't want to use Divi, but you want the state template and you're on WordPress. We want to see if we can help you get there. But we haven't got a clear direction on whether or not that's where we want to spend some more resource time. Anyway, we thought about it, we conceived how it would happen, and we think we can do it. Then the other thing I wanted to say before Jim sits down, you can actually sit down now, and before Danny comes up. Danny, come on up. Is the answer to the question, nobody's asked this question, but I'll ask it for you, is why should we sign up for this service? After all, I've looked in the rate sheet that CDT publishes on cdt.ca.gov/services, and I see that the monthly rate for this service is rather high for a quote-unquote website. And what I want to say about that is the value that we bring is that you absolutely can forget about all the hosting woes and concerns that a typical IT group would be concerned with. You don't need to worry about your OS patching, your web server maintenance. You don't need to worry about WordPress updates. All you do is log in and exploit our service for the presentation of your content to your customers, your site visitors. You don't need an IT team. Your webmasters can do what they were really trained to do, which is make your content interesting and available, keep it fresh, keep it looking good, utilize the functionality of Divi and WordPress to really reach out to your customers, maximize SEO. We have tools for that. Make sure that your site is accessible. We have one tool for that now. We're going to expand this, have more tools related to accessibility. We think that's worth that price that you see in the rate sheet, because you can focus on adding value to your site and not worry about infrastructure. That's our big plus. Okay, Danny? You have a question? Oh, sorry, one question.
Can you bring in outside widgets or plugins or
You
anything?
mean ones that you built yourself?
Either ourselves or third parties?
Yes, yes, we will vet them. We have to go through this little research process to make sure there aren't any hidden back doors or anything like that in them. But if they're a legitimate plugin that provides legitimate functionality and you want it and need it, we will implement it. We've done that for one customer. They wanted a product called Read Speaker, which is an accessibility tool. It will read, once activated, it will read the content on a web page. Now, I think Microsoft's Edge browser does that out of the box, and I think there are plugins for the browsers. You can handle that on the client side, but they wanted to handle it on the website side, so that whether you have the tool or the browser or not, you could click this thing and it would read it to you. So we did the research and did a couple of tweaks, but we did that, and we did that for one customer. And yet the maintenance on it for us is nil now. It just runs. We update it, it works. So far, so good. So far, so good. So yes, I answer your question is yes. Okay, take it away, Dan.
Good morning, everybody. Can you hear me? Like Kevin said, my name is Danny. I am the lead developer for CA Web. Is everybody familiar with GitHub? Give or take? Oh, sorry. If you can't hear me, please say something. I will speak a little bit louder. I am very soft-spoken, sorry to say that. So I'm actually going to go over how you guys can collaborate and contribute with us on our CA Web theme. We are on GitHub. It is a private repository, so you do need to have access to it. Is everybody familiar with the new California open source portal? No. Oh, okay, there's one. So in order to request access, you actually will go to the site. Let's see if it will open up. Looks just like this. And then you will click on Explore Code. On this page, we actually have a couple of different agencies that have added their GitHub repositories to the site. The one you would be looking for would be the CDT Office of Digital Innovation. And then if it's a public repository, you'll notice that it has a little link to it. You can actually just click on it. And for public repositories, you can just fork them straight into your own GitHub account and just start, developing right onto them. For the, this one. For private repositories, there's actually no link. They actually show up like this, and it'll give you a little asterisk letting you know that it is a private repository. For these, you actually request access to private repositories. You'll just click this little button, which will open up it's not set up, it will open up an Outlook email. This email usually will typically have, how do I get back to the slide? We'll actually open up an email. There's some information, every agency does have their email set up differently, so just read through the email, submit whatever information is requested. Typically, it's just your GitHub username so that we can add you to the actual repository. Once you, submit the email, we will get this is not clickable. We will get an email with your username. We will add you to that repository. You'll get an invitation similar to the one on top. Once you click on this invitation, you'll see the accept invitation. You just have to click on the green accept invitation button, and then just fork the repository directly into your GitHub and do development the exact same way you normally would. Okay?
I have a question. Is this their personal GitHub account or their organization's GitHub account?
You can actually fork it to any GitHub account that you have set up. We are recommending that you do set one up with your state email address, though. As of right now, I don't think it's a requirement to set it up with the state email, but it is a recommendation to use your state email. Are there any other questions? By the way, this GitHub account does get updated every day. I do at least 100 commits a day. So it is very active. We do develop every day, even on the weekends, holidays, vacation time. I am a true developer. I code all day and all night.
Well, Danny, let's let you get back to your computer and keep coding.
I almost brought my computer. I actually almost brought it down and decided not to. So it is upstairs waiting for me. It's calling me. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. I'm always ready and available to help anyone.
Very good. Thanks, Danny.
Okay.
Next up is Yi Vang, and Yi will talk about short codes, how to utilize and exploit those in WordPress. As you can imagine, the name pretty much says it all, but we need to know, gee, how do you use this? How do you make this work? So he's already got a mic, so go ahead.
Testing? No? No, can't hear? Can you hear me? Michael? You get slow on here. Okay, let me try here. Okay, I guess I can hear myself now. Okay, so just a quick overview of short codes here. You know, it's a WordPress specific code that lets you do nifty things with low effort. So in short, you know, it's a shortcut pretty much. So it's different from your normal HTML brackets, but they're just going to be in square brackets here instead. I guess I may have a source down here. I kind of stole the definition from WordPress, but so there's some advantages to it. It's agile. You know, it never appears in the source of your HTML. And the next thing too, you know, you can style any short code because you know everything's going to be attached with a class. Unfortunately, they are sometimes theme specific. Our theme is very specific, so certain short codes will not work on other themes. One other caveat is it may prevent you from actually learning code, and there is a learning curve, unfortunately. So this is a preview of the visual editor, how it would look like. So some of these buttons that you see up here are actually short codes up there. So there's kind of a nifty way where you don't have to learn the actual short code context. And you see down here in the text editor, it's kind of the same thing, the actual short codes. So these are some of the core WordPress short codes here: audio, caption, embed, gallery, playlist, and video. So some of our customers, I mainly deal with, I guess, the embed code because, you know, they all have YouTube and they have Twitter feeds. So using the embed codes is a very easy, nifty way to get them going, rather than versus having to explain code, something that some of you want to avoid. So short codes will allow us to do this here. It's pretty nifty. So you have some attributes here, 800, 600, width and height, and conveniently this is CDT's Twitter here. So I'm going to quickly go over Divi short codes here. So these are the short codes we've been using that are featured inside Divi itself. Probably the most common ones that we use is probably the toggles and the tabs. And I don't think we're using tooltips, but we're definitely using accordion. I don't see accordion here, but definitely accordion. So this is preview 2 of the short code. I'm going to quickly try to do this quickly on a quick demo here if I can get over here. Add new. So we do encourage customers to use the builder, so I'm going to use the builder here. Art back there mentioned kind of a little bit how to use, if we can drag and drop, just so they'll preview how to use the builder. So I'm going to quickly do that. A lot of common state websites have this 2/3, 1/3 column look, so I'm just going with that. And I'm going to click Insert Module here. I'm just going to quickly do a text box here. And like mentioned earlier, I'm going to use that embed tag that I had earlier. So it's going to just be your square bracket here. And I'm going to close it. And if I remember what Twitter is, I'm going to have a sheet here. HTTPS twitter.com. I don't think it's case specific. We'll find out in a second here. And I'm going to close this short code here with that. And you know what? I'm going to duplicate this and I'm going to just drag it over here so we can kind of see a preview of what's going on here. So in theory, what we should see is the Twitter feed over here. So that's the Twitter feed. So instead of learning the actual embed code or the iframe, this is a very quick way to do it. Let me tab out here and quickly go over, I guess, one of the Divi shortcodes here. So it's kind of nifty here. I'm going to duplicate this here real quick. So like mentioned earlier, there's the visual builder, the visual side of the default editor, well not default, but the editor. So this visual side here, I'm going to do this guy here. This is the visual side here. So caption, I'm just going to put hello here. And I'm just going to copy and paste, spam a bunch of this stuff here. And, okay, maybe not. Okay, well, I'm going to do it on the text side here, a lot easier so we can see what's going on here. So learn more. So you're going to have your caption here, right there. And then I'm going to throw a bunch of text in there. And the other thing is I don't have to close the tag and just click on this button here and it'll close by itself. And then I'm going to save and exit. And then we're going to do another preview here. So it should appear here on the first side column. Actually, let me do this guy instead. Let me change the order. Let me drag and drop change the order so we can see the actual toggle appear instead. So that's learn more. You can nest codes. So I'm going to go ahead real quick and just type this guy here. And I'm going to put it in the learn more box here so we can see that we can actually nest shortcodes. And one of the beauty things here too, we didn't mention this in the PowerPoint here, but since we're built on Divi, our theme, our template, you can actually use shortcodes for our CA Web modules too. I don't think I have enough time to preview that, but just to throw that out there, you can use shortcodes to use our modules as well. So there it is. It's a nested shortcode inside a shortcode. So let me just quickly go back to the PowerPoint, cover some last things here. So pretty much just a quick demo. I did that 2/3, 1/3 column thing here. So we have our caption, we have our content, and then over on the right side of the panel, we have our embed. And then in conclusion, just feel free to go in there, mess with shortcodes, break some stuff, and inside PowerPoint, I have provided some links in there. So yeah, just go in there and just break some stuff, I guess. Thank you. Art? Yeah. So our modules, the CA Web modules are denoted by this CA Web icon here. So you have the GitHub location, and the most common one that customers use right now is the panel. So people have probably been using that for the past, who knows how long, like since template 4 probably. So let me just quickly show off that thing I was talking about, the shortcode here. I'm going to publish it, and then if you guys are all familiar with WordPress, you know, you'll get your revision history over here. So I'm going to quickly show off the shortcode for the CA Web panel. So if I can find it, it's going to be right here. So everything's kind of still built on shortcodes because you know, we're using WordPress. So if you don't want to go in and click a bunch of buttons and drag and drop and stuff, you can just throw in a shortcode and it'll come out the same way it should be. So
Very cool. Another question?
So in the menu bars, you were able to insert the shortcodes,
Mhm.
then you had to type in the embed. So does that mean that there's others that are available that are not in that menu, and then how do you know which those are?
so unfortunately,
The question is, how do you know what other shortcodes are available? Is that correct? Yeah.
yeah, so it's kind of like a core thing you might just have to know. You might have to do some research, unfortunately. So I provide the link here for some core WordPress shortcodes. So if you do look up some shortcodes, do not go to the .com ones because the .com ones are specific, and those are ones that are for that.
WordPress.com is a hosting environment. WordPress.org is the resource environment. So it's a codex for all WordPress development, all WordPress plugins, etc. is on WordPress.org. Is there another question? The question is, are we going to have a list of the state template specific shortcodes?
Yeah, we can do that. We can start on caweb.ca.gov. Just throw examples. Kind of how the template, we have the V5 template. You know, you have examples on there, the HTML source, and then the actual example. So yeah, we can do that. We can throw it on there.
Okay, thanks, Yi.
Okay.
Wonderful, wonderful. And as Miguel's coming up for our final presentation, I wanted to give you one more reason why subscribing to the CA Web Publishing service is to your advantage, and that is security. You don't need to worry about security at your hosting environment because we have implemented a product called WordFence, which is a web application firewall and much more. And it's also an information resource. They let us know of everything that's happening in the wild. So we're really on the cutting edge of keeping all our websites secure and protected, and we have this advocate in the WordFence team. So just wanted to throw that little plug in there in case you're asked, well, how do they implement security? How do they make sure that the most vulnerable CMS in the world is protected? Windows is the most vulnerable desktop and laptop software, right? It is. Why do we use the most vulnerable? Well, because it's the most popular, and it's backed by a huge company. WordPress is kind of the same way. It is the most vulnerable because it is the most prevalent CMS in the world. So it's going to get the most attacks. You have to stay on the leading edge of security, and we feel that our team is doing that with our help from vendors like WordPress. Well, without further ado, Miguel has our final presentation on WP Forms. So, Miguel.
Good morning. My name is Miguel, and I'll be doing the quick demo and introduction into what WP Forms is. And what WP Forms is, it's basically a plugin that allows you to create quick and easy forms through a drag and drop interface without having to touch any code at all. So what is WP Forms? It's basically a plugin to build and deploy forms in seconds. Like I said, quick drag and drop builder, kind of like what Divi is, but even a little more simple because it's just like a minimal well, there's a lot of options, but it really categorizes them. So, and it's this WP Forms is also responsive, so you don't need to work on like this not working for a mobile device, only working on desktop. It's across all platforms, so there's no need to worry about that. So what this also has, it also has form templates. So if you're not like too sure how to start it off and what kind of like what options you can set, it has pre-built form templates. So if you want a contact form, there's a contact form template. It'll have the default options, and from there you can just build off of it or like remove stuff and really modify it to really fit your needs. So another option is that it also allows file uploads. So like PDF, Word documents, any type of files that you might want a user to submit, whether it's like personal like files, it's also really secure. And it also has spam protection, so you don't have to really worry about somebody just accessing your form on your website and really just sending off so many emails that are really useless and they're just trying to like fill up your form folder, right? So it has smart FATCA, which basically prevents bots from like botting your website. And it also has geolocation data. So if you really want to know your audience and get to know who's submitting forms from where, it captures user analytics, so you can really see the demographics. It also supports multi-page forms. So if you're really going to have like a really long form with a lot of options, and you don't want to make it so that the user has to scroll down so much and just have it really complicated, you can actually make it so that it has like a next page. So you can split it up into like categories by page. So you can just have them like go on the next page for it's so it's not long, and you keep it short and sweet by each page. And it also has an offline to add on. So for example, if somebody's like in a train or something trying to fill out a form and perhaps it's a long form that they had a lot of information in, and they lose like reception or they don't have a connection, instead of them reloading the page and then trying to submit it while they're offline and their data being lost, this plugin actually has offline, so it actually saves the user data locally and allows them to submit it later on, which is a pretty good feature. Do you have any questions about what I presented? I'll show how to actually use it a bit. Okay. So I'm going to head on to dashboard. Okay. Here's where is it on this one? Do you guys have it installed?
You're on my account, so just go into my site, go to plugin.
No, it's not.
Well, let's not worry about it. I think we might have to save this for another presentation because we're out of time for the CA Web Publishing segment of this Webmasters Users Group. So I think we'll say thanks, Miguel, and maybe for next time, we can have a video presentation that shows you how to use this very, very powerful forms tool. I want to thank my team for putting these little demos together for you. I hope they were instructional. Give you a little peek inside what it looks like if you're a webmaster using the CA Web Publishing service and trying to do certain things and some common things. There's a whole lot more you can do. If you're interested, please give us a call, talk to your customer engagement rep, or you can contact us at any one of these email addresses. I'll give you one if you want to write this down: CA Web Publishing Service. I know it's long, but it's easy to remember. CA Web Publishing Service at state.ca.gov. And we'll answer any questions you've had that we were not able to get to. If you're online and have asked a question, I'm sorry, can't get to them right now. But if you'll send your question to CA Web Publishing Service at state.ca.gov, we will respond. Thank you very much.